Should we get on to some nerdy news?
I think we should.
We've got a relatively stacked bit here.
Yeah, it's been a busy week with different bits of news and stuff.
Indeed. So, the late night talk show hosts in America, Colbert, Fallon, Kimmel, Myers, and Oliver, are doing a limited podcast series talking about the WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes and how it's affected how they do things and everything like that. And all of the money that the podcast makes will be going to the staff of the shows who are currently out of work because the shows are obviously on hold, which is good.
Oh, yeah.
You've got to remember, like, Jimmy Fallon came up through SNL. John Oliver is a long-time British comedian who kind of went over to America like mid-2000 and kind of got big over there and has kind of been forgotten by the British audience. He did what James Corden did, but without being an annoying bastard the entire time. So, like, a lot of these guys come from these writing and acting backgrounds, which is why, although they will have felt a pressure to not try and cross the picket line, they also probably would have, they themselves will have been quite happy to support their fellow workers.
Yeah.
And then doing this when I assume they're not going to make a penny off of it, they might make a little bit. It's a good thing to do. It's a fair thing to do. At the end of the day, when them shows are back on the air, they'll go back to making their millions. And their workers will go back to still probably not being paid fairly enough. And I hope they are also using this time to look at their own production and go, are we paying people fairly?
I would hope so. It
I know
also
it's
depends.
not their individual decision.
Yeah.
But they'll have enough pull at the studios and the stations they work at to go, are we being fair?
Yeah, I'm sure they're trying to ensure that the studios are doing the right thing. Obviously, at the end of the day, like, it's probably not in their control fully, so they can only do what they can. But I saw about this podcast. I saw like a clip of the start of it, and I don't know I forget which one it was. Sonny was like, right, Jimmy go first, and both Jimmys went to start. And it's like, you can just tell they obviously all get on, and it's like, although this is for them to talk about the WGA and everything and stuff that's going on at the moment, it wouldn't surprise me if this podcast is so well received that they're like, maybe this should become an actual regular thing.
Yeah. Because it can absolutely benefit all five of them in major ways.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely interesting. We may have had our first Disney Plus show confirmed as getting a second season, other than What If. Our first Disney Plus live action show.
What about Loki?
Oh yeah, I'm waffling. She-Hulk season 2 might be getting a second season by the looks of it. I'm
sorry, I'm like, is this man forgotten that Loki season 2 is literally like not that far away?
Around the corner. Yeah. Nah, good comms. Yeah, She-Hulk's getting a season 2 apparently.
Yes.
We both enjoyed She-Hulk.
I
know a lot of people didn't. Hey, if this VFX unionization vote goes through and leads to a subsequent strike that improves conditions, the only valid complaint of She-Hulk, which is slightly wonky CGI in places, might be resolved.
Yeah,
however,
I was going to say, people were harsh on the CGI of She-Hulk. Yes, there was places where it was wonky, but something to like, people need to remember, the first time we saw the Hulk, he didn't look as good as he did the last time we saw the Hulk. Like, they improved that time after time. So, like, She-Hulk's going to come back looking better because they've got a base to work off. They're going to improve it. She's going to look better. I'm looking forward to that. It's going to have the same comedy again. I hope we get a Daredevil appearance.
Yeah. I mean, She-Hulk was exactly what we were told it was going to be. We were told it was going to focus more on the comedy. It was funny.
It was.
If it wasn't your brand of comedy, that's absolutely fine. But do not hate on it purely because it's a woman lead role. And because she twerked at the end of an episode with a famous female rapper.
How could you?
Do you know what I mean?
That was perfect internet humor.
It's just funny.
If you don't like that, you're clearly someone who doesn't enjoy memes and stuff on the internet. Because
at this point, I would rather people just say I don't like women than trying to find bullshit reasons to hate She-Hulk so that we have to deduce that they hate women.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm hoping it'll be even better than season 1. They can save a bit of time on the character building because we've already got a base there now, and we can hopefully get a bit more crime fightery, which will be fun.
Yeah, I think season 2 we'll see a mix of. We've got the basis of who she is now, so we're obviously going to see again that she's the superhero lawyer. She's going to be doing that stuff. We're going to have some fun, like villain of the week in court situation of like who's she representing, what's going on. Meanwhile, I think we will see her start to do a bit of crime fighting, a bit of whatnot. Maybe she'll get some training from Daredevil. Maybe they'll have a little hand-to-hand training. But yeah, I think it'll be good. I'm looking forward to it.
100%. And it'll be interesting to see how far off that is.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight trilogy, the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy, returning to select cinemas for Batman Day, September 16th. I'm going to go ahead and assume this is only in America.
I presume so. I'd heard nothing about this, so...
Yeah, I feel like we don't do a lot of fun re-releases in this country.
No, we're boring.
Especially when it's select theatres, and we know how shit Warner Bros. Are at just releasing stuff in the UK anyway.
Do you know what I think this might cause, though? You know there's going to be a party of people that, like, go rewatch it, who haven't seen it for a while, remember, this was a good Batman trilogy. James Gunn, why can't we have this Batman?
Well, interesting you should say that.
Uh-oh.
Some old Facebook comments from a James Gunn account have been found.
Uh-oh.
Of him trashing the Dark Knight trilogy.
Is it actually him, though?
I believe so. Don't quote me on that. They might have been very good fakes. But they were basically saying Tim Burton's Batman was shit, which I'm not sure I agree with.
Okay.
And that the Nolan films weren't that good. Batman Begins has a lot of issues. And if he was ever to do Batman, he wouldn't do it that way. Which I'm not necessarily sure I agree with his opinion on them films.
Mm-hmm.
But if these are in fact true statements that he made,
he's finally got his chance to prove it.
It will be really interesting to see how he wants his Batman to be.
Mm.
Because I've said I'm down for a different take of Batman. Mm-hmm. I'm over the gritty, I am the knight take.
Yeah.
I'm down for a bit more tomfoolery and 60s Adam West goofiness to my superheroes.
These comments, they're either going to bite him in the ass now that he is in charge of DC and he has the reins to prove what he's saying. Either his Batman's going to be not well received and people are going to go, I thought you said you could do better. And his comments are going to come back up. Or people are going to be like, man called it back in the day. Like he does know Batman.
He called his shot and he did not miss.
Yeah. So
yeah. Gentle reminder, ladies and gentlemen, the internet never forgets.
Yeah, everything is on there forever, especially on Facebook. You can't delete it.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing is fully removed.
So just remember that anytime you want to bash anything, just in case one day you're in a position to try and do something better.
Can't wait till we've bashed DC and then finally get our shot.
Yeah, imagine.
All these times you were like, I can do better call me up, and then they finally call you up, and you're like, oh shit.
And then it's just me like in front of my fucking Batman film, shaky voice. Thank you all for coming. Yeah, it wouldn't be great. It wouldn't be great. This week marks 3 years since Chadwick Boseman passed away. A lot of his co-stars from a number of films, primarily the ones I saw were from Black Panther co-stars, posting tributes to him. That is wild that was 3 years ago.
Hey, it's like, honestly, we've said it multiple times, and we always say it in our friend group, but the 2020 to 2022, that 2-year period, like, it's a blur. No one remembers it.
100%.
The fact that that's 3 years now is wild. Such a shame, man.
It really, really sucks. I do think the MCU has done a phenomenal job in honouring him.
I do.
And I mean, that's the best we can ask. All we can do is remember fondly how good a job he did. He's done a lot of really good films outside the MCU as well.
Yeah.
That are definitely worth watching. And I mean, as sad as it is for someone to die so young, the ability that he in particular has with his art to carry on is also quite special. And I think that's the one, not good thing, one comfort we can take away from it is that you can still experience
everyone
the echo that they left behind.
Yeah, everyone can still go watch Black Panther and see why he was so loved in that film.
Exactly.
Yeah.
More strike news.
Are we ready for Conor to get angry at CEOs?
So the AMPTP, which is essentially, ironically, the Union of Studios, is essentially what they are. Let me just double check exactly what it stands for, though. Alliance of Motion Pictures and Television Producers. The irony that they are essentially a union for scumbag CEOs is hilarious. Anyway, the AMPTP has hired a new crisis PR firm to try and save their image as more people continue to realise the importance of actors and writers receiving fair deals. So, first and foremost, well done everyone who has been aware of these strikes and been informing people who aren't aware.
Yes.
So if you have seen the stuff on Twitter and you've told it to your parents and people you work with, you're just making noise about it. You're making it part of your day-to-day conversation when people are talking about what's going on in the world. Shout out you guys, because we're turning the tide. We're making them realise they done fucked up.
Yeah.
Secondly, this day and age, you're going to let a news article leak that, what was the quote, Horrig? Thin-skinned?
There was something, I forget exactly what it was. Basically, the Bob Iger and the Warner Brothers CEO, because I forget his name.
Bob Zauser.
It was like thin-skinned Bob Iger, they're shocked to see that they have become villainized over this whole fair deal situation. Like, I tweeted it, and you also made a tweet, but like, why are we surprised that the overpaid CEOs are completely out of touch with the general public's perception of overpaid CEOs? Like,
I don't know how they possibly thought that the entire world was going to be like, these are the good guys here.
It doesn't surprise me though, because Bob Iger's these are the same people that were like, oh, we'll just wait these strikes out till these people are losing their homes and stuff, thinking that they're like, oh, the general public's like, yes, you get them, we're on your side. Well, it's like all of their comments have been like completely tone deaf and blind to what the general public actually had, like their perception of them is. So I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised at all that they are like, oh my God, we've been vilified. Like, I'm
What did you
glad.
expect?
I'm glad they're realizing they're being vilified. That's the great thing here.
Let's be completely clear here. They have made their money making films about how you should fight the evil big bad guy. And they are now surprised that people like me and you who have grown up on these films are going, hold the fucking phone a minute. You are the evil big bad guy. Get fucked.
Mm-hmm.
It's like what I said when fucking Andor announced that it's been postponed. The notion that a film about fighting the big bad has been postponed because the people making that need to go fight the big bad should not be lost on anyone. It's fucking hilarious.
It's just.
But I'd like to think that Bob Iger is sat at home reading mean comments. He's seeing our shorts where we call him a scumbag, and he's like, they're being mean. Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, if you are ever sad that you're not allowed to cyberbully people anymore, go and cyberbully the CEOs of these companies. They do not count.
The thing is, do you know what I think is more realistically happening? Is Bob Iger was like thinking they're doing great, they're doing the right thing and how they're handling it and stuff. No perception of what the internet's saying. But then it's like his kid. It's like, Dad, like, are you not sitting down and so like it was more people like close to home, family members were like, are you not gonna sort out this fair deal? And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, well, no one thinks this is fair what you're doing to these writers. And he's like, what? Oh, that hurts me. We're doing the correct thing here. They're trying to extort us for money. And it's like, I imagine it's like more and more people, and then now he's like, wait, what's the general? And someone's shown him an art, like, or someone's come in and he's like, right, so how's things going in the press? And like, yeah, things aren't looking great. And he's like, what do you mean?
I'm really curious to see what their stock prices are looking like. Disney.
I guarantee there was some meeting and he's had to have like a PR meeting. He's like, okay, so I'm guessing things are doing okay. Like, we're handling this. And they're like, yeah, so about that, the general public hates you. We think it's best if you do no more interviews because you keep saying the wrong thing. I think like it's just so funny to me that they're like so shocked by this. Like,
what happened on the 24th of August? 24th of August, Disney. Is that when Bob Iger made his comment about people losing their homes?
No, because that wasn't that long ago. That comment was a while ago now.
But yeah, so on August 10th, they were trading at nearly $92 a share. They are currently at $83 a share.
Yikes.
And that is like a steady decline.
Yeah, that's a decent decline.
Back in May, they were at 102.
Not looking good, Chief.
They have lost $20 off of their stock price since May. By fighting this kind of shit. And there's a real chance it only continues to get worse because what's going to happen soon is they're going to start running out of content. And then people are going to be like, well, I'm not going to keep paying £14 a month for Disney Plus if there's nothing new on there. And then there'll be no one going to the cinemas to give them money because they won't have any films coming out.
And you know what will happen? These more indie studios that have agreed to them are going to be like, oh, we've got this new film and this new show on our indie platform.
You're going to have people at A24 who are allowed to keep working going, oh, we're the only film in cinema this week. Okay, cool. We can afford to advertise this film X amount and we won't be competing with other films.
Well, it's like, and all the news things that like cover media, they'll be like, oh, there's nothing. Oh, there's this one film coming out by A24, and A24 is going to be like slammed with PR because every news thing is going to be wanting an interview and to get their thing, so they have something to write about. It's going to be great for the indies.
100%. And that will then really hurt Disney's bottom line because then you've potentially got an entire, for the first time, an entire generation will be opened up to indie films. And they'll be like, big studios aren't always that great, you know. So, I mean, they might think they're winning the battle here, but they may well end up losing more than just their house if they're not careful. On top of that, AMC has signed a temporary agreement with SAG-AFTRA to allow work on 3 TV shows to continue. 2 of them are Walking Dead spin-offs. a Daryl Dixon one and another one.
Yeah.
And Interview with a Vampire season 2.
It's interesting. So they've. Oh, I wonder if this is less. AMC as a studio as a whole is not willing to yet. They're tied maybe into the AMPTP, so they can't like blanket agree because they have to wait till that union agrees. But they have the ability that individual productions can agree to stuff because they're like they are seen as like a standalone thing. Obviously, this new Walking Dead series that they are launching, or like Daryl Dixon season 2, but like these are like the Walking Dead is a huge franchise for them. They're gonna want to keep that ball rolling. Makes sense. Don't know about the Interview with a Vampire. Never heard of it, but
Neither.
Interesting because, like we said, if they do this, few shows going out, people might be like, well, guess we're back to watching The Walking Dead again. Let's get back into that franchise. Might do them well.
I think that this is 3 shows that by agreeing to the demands just for these 3 shows, they can stomach that cost while they continue to negotiate terms that they find more favourable permanently. So it's like, okay, we will pay a bit over the odds now to get these shows done because they're important, while we work with you to get the entire deal down a little bit. And I don't think that's bad faith business. It's more useful than other stuff.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I hope they end up just having to cave and paying the full money. I kind of want it to somehow get to a point where it's so bad that SAG-AFTRA and the WGA can up their demands a little bit, and the studios have no choice but to go, fine.
Yeah, if the longer they leave it, the studios do risk like it gets to a point where they come back and they're like, okay, we'll agree, and then SAG-AFTRA goes, now he's taken too long now. We want this. Like that agreement's gone. We want this now, and then they're gonna be like, but that's more. And like, well, we should have agreed sooner, shouldn't you?
It's definitely a rough one. And I mean, it's tricky because we can talk about how we can wait the studios out all we want. These people do still have bills to pay. The fund is never going to be bottomless, but I know a lot of people are helping out where they can. I know there's lots of resources out there to find out where you can donate to help. Hopefully they can, or they do have enough money there to at least get this deal over the line.
Hopefully.
And let's not forget, fuck these rich fuckers for trying to ruin art. Because that's what this is. This is ruining art. As much as some actors, yes, are overpaid, or maybe they're not particularly good actors, and some writers might not be particularly good writers, or you might not like their writing, at heart, they are artists and they deserve to be paid a fair living wage for their art, when that art has the potential to make people who've done nothing even more money. And in turn of supporting art, it is National Cinema Day in the UK on Saturday.
It is. Let's get on down
I'm
to the
very
cinema.
excited for that. Yeah, get on down to the cinema. Cineworld are doing £3 tickets all day. And it doesn't matter the format either, by the way. So you can go watch an IMAX film for £3. If you haven't seen Oppenheimer yet, go watch it for £3. Ooh.
I think View might even be doing some deals for National Cinema Day. Well.
They're also doing £3.
So I mean, it wouldn't be right if we weren't
Odeon?
Recommending people either go watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Blue Beetle. I think those should be the top of the list.
Blue Beetle, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Oppenheimer. Odeon's also doing £3 a ticket. So it looks like most of the major chains doing £3 a ticket. Fuck it. If you haven't seen Oppenheimer or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Blue Beetle, do a triple feature. Treat yourself. £9. You can probably watch all 3 of them in IMAX and go and watch 3 films in IMAX for what it would normally cost to just watch it in IMAX. Like,
Yeah.
you're laughing. But yeah, if money's a little bit tight in the minute, but you do normally love the cinema, this might be a brilliant opportunity for you to get out there and see a film you've been wanting to see.
Yeah.
And also, it helps the cinemas, which is always very, very important.
Yes, it is.
Right.